USA versus China. Trump, trade wars, technology battles, and the future of global power. Welcome to CNC News Podcast. This information and analysis is provided by Varinder Singh, reporting from Washington, D.C. Through Cross-Nation Chronicle, we bring viewers global updates, political discussions, and international news coverage from India, the United States, Asia, and around the world in multiple languages. Today, we discuss one of the biggest global stories shaping the future of the world, the ongoing tensions, negotiations, and political battles between the United States and China. From trade wars and technology restrictions to military tensions, economic competition, Taiwan, TikTok, artificial intelligence, and global supply chains, the relationship between America and China affects nearly every country in the world. Tonight, we break down what is happening, what former President Donald Trump is saying, what China wants, and what possible deals could shape the future of global politics. Let's begin. For many years, the United States and China worked closely together economically. American companies manufactured products in China because labor costs were cheaper. China became the factory of the world, producing electronics, clothing, machinery, and countless products used globally. At the same time, China's economy grew rapidly. Chinese cities expanded, industries became stronger, and Beijing invested heavily in technology, infrastructure, and military modernization. But as China became more powerful, concerns inside the United States also increased. American politicians from both parties began questioning whether China was becoming not just an economic competitor, but a strategic rival. Donald Trump made China a central issue during his presidency. Trump repeatedly accused China of unfair trade practices, intellectual property theft, currency manipulation, and damaging American manufacturing jobs. During his administration, the United States imposed tariffs on hundreds of billions of dollars worth of Chinese goods. China responded with tariffs of its own. This became known globally as the U.S.-China trade war. Trump argued that previous American administrations allowed China to gain too much economic advantage. His supporters claimed he was standing up for American workers and protecting national industries. Meanwhile, critics argue that tariffs increased prices for businesses and consumers. Even after Trump left office, many restrictions against China remained under the Biden administration. This showed that concerns about China are no longer limited to one political party in Washington. Now let's discuss technology. Technology has become one of the biggest battlegrounds between the United States and China. The U.S. government has placed restrictions on advanced semiconductor exports to China. American officials believe advanced chips could strengthen China's military and artificial intelligence systems. Chinese companies such as Huawei face major sanctions and restrictions. Washington also raised concerns over apps like TikTok, claiming data security risks for American users. China strongly denies many of these allegations. Chinese officials argue that the United States is trying to stop China's rise as a global power. Beijing says American restrictions are politically motivated and designed to limit economic competition. At the same time, China continues expanding its investments across Asia, Africa, Latin America, and the Middle East through projects linked to the Belt and Road Initiative. Another major issue is Taiwan. Taiwan remains one of the most dangerous flashpoints between the United States and China. China considers Taiwan part of its territory and says reunification is a national priority. The United States officially follows the One China policy, but also maintains strong unofficial relations with Taiwan and provides military support. Whenever American officials visit Taiwan or approve new military packages, China reacts strongly. Chinese military exercises near Taiwan have increased significantly in recent years. Many analysts fear that any major conflict over Taiwan could impact the entire global economy. Why? Because Taiwan is one of the world's leading producers of advanced semiconductor chips used in smartphones, cars, computers, and military systems. Now, let's talk about Donald Trump's recent comments and allegations involving China. Trump has repeatedly claimed that China took advantage of the United States economically for decades. He argues that America lost manufacturing jobs while China gained wealth and industrial strength. Trump also frequently connects China to broader discussions involving national security, trade deficits, pharmaceutical dependence, and supply chain vulnerabilities. During campaign speeches and interviews, Trump has promised stronger economic policies against China if he returns to office. Some reports suggest that Trump's allies are discussing new tariffs and stricter investment controls. At the same time, Trump also occasionally signals openness to negotiations if deals favor American economic interests. China, meanwhile, wants stability in economic relations because the Chinese economy also faces internal challenges. Slowing economic growth, youth unemployment, real estate sector pressures, and reduced foreign investment have created concerns inside China. Because of this, both countries have reasons to avoid direct confrontation while still competing aggressively. Now, many people ask, is a new deal possible between the United States and China? The answer is complicated. Some analysts believe both sides may eventually negotiate limited agreements involving trade, climate cooperation, technology controls, and military communication channels. Others believe competition will continue for many years regardless of who becomes president in America. Global businesses are already adapting. Many companies are moving some manufacturing away from China into countries like India, Vietnam, Mexico, and Indonesia. This strategy is often called China Plus One. The goal is to reduce dependence on a single country for critical manufacturing and supply chains. India is also becoming an important player in this global shift. American companies increasingly view India as both a major market and a strategic partner. At the same time, China remains deeply connected to the global economy. Completely separating the American and Chinese economies will be extremely difficult. That is why many experts believe the future will involve managed competition rather than total economic separation. Now, let's discuss military tensions. The South China Sea remains another major area of concern. China has expanded military activity and infrastructure in disputed waters claimed by several neighboring countries. The United States regularly conducts naval operations in the region, saying it supports freedom of navigation and international law. Military analysts warn that misunderstandings or accidents between forces from both countries can increase tensions unexpectedly. Cybersecurity is another growing issue. American intelligence agencies have repeatedly accused Chinese-linked groups of cyber espionage and technology theft. China denies these accusations and claims it is also targeted by cyber attacks from foreign governments. Artificial intelligence has now become the newest area of competition. Both Washington and Beijing understand that AI could shape future military power, economic growth, surveillance systems, healthcare, finance, and media influence. The race for AI dominance may become even more important than earlier battles over oil or industrial manufacturing. Now let's ask the biggest question. Who is winning? The answer depends on perspective. The United States still leads in many advanced technologies, military alliances, global finance, and innovation. China, however, continues growing rapidly in infrastructure, manufacturing, electric vehicles, renewable energy, and global trade influence. Many countries now try to maintain relations with both Washington and Beijing. They do not want to choose sides. This creates a new global reality where economic partnerships and political alliances are becoming more complex. For ordinary people, these tensions can affect daily life through inflation, product prices, jobs, investment markets, and international travel. Global politics is no longer distant from ordinary citizens. Every major decision between the United States and China impacts the world economy. As the 2026 and future elections approach in America, China will remain one of the most important international topics. Whether under Donald Trump or another administration, the relationship between Washington and Beijing will continue shaping global politics for decades. This is not simply a battle about trade. It is a competition about technology, military influence, economic leadership, and the future direction of the international system. And the world is watching closely. Thank you for listening to CNC News Podcast. Stay connected with Cross-Nation Chronicle for global news, political analysis, and international updates from around the world. CNC News, connecting nations through truth.